Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to another video. My name is Tawanda, and I'm the Migraine Crafting Diva. And on this channel, I do decorating on a budget, DIYs, and hauls with a sprinkle of migraine enlightenment. And today's video is going to be a video of my favorite fall DIYs. Originally, I had put 10, but as I was going through the videos, I actually ended up with 11. So you're going to actually end up with a bonus video. And I would like to thank my subscribers and all of my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you'll stay. And if you like the content that I'm putting out, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and get started with today's video. I hope you enjoy. Let me know which DIY is your favorite. Happy Sunday, everyone. Today I will be doing a DIY using these pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, and I will be making a topiary. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start off by taking 3 pumpkins that I got from the Dollar Tree, and they're in 3 different sizes. And here you can see that I am trying to take the pumpkin face off, which I'm having a hard time doing. So eventually I just get off what I can off of this pumpkin, and the other ones I just left them like they were. And then I went ahead and painted them, the back sides of them, truffle with the Waverly paint, the Waverly chalk paint. And I went ahead and painted the dowel rod that I also used to create these pumpkins. And then I went ahead and took some wood filler and filled in the holes that were at the top of the pumpkins. And then once I did that, they were ready to be painted. So I flipped them over onto the wood side and I began painting. The larger pumpkin, which was at the bottom, I painted it the moss color. And what I did was, while I was painting them, I also just went ahead and just painted them in the direction of like I was painting a pumpkin, so that I can kind of just, as the paint was drying, it would kind of give the reflection of the pumpkin shape or design. And then I went ahead and painted the middle-sized pumpkin, or the second to largest pumpkin, the agave color. And I did the same thing that I did with the moss, as far as painting it like I was painting the shape of the pumpkin. And then the top pumpkin, which was the smaller one, I painted it the hazelnut color. And then once I finished painting the pumpkins and I let them dry, I went ahead and took the Waverly sandstone and I gave it and I used that to kind of outline and show the pumpkin shape and form. And I gave each of the pumpkins 2 coats of paint each. And once they dried, I went ahead and I positioned them onto my dowel rod to figure out where I wanted to put them. And then once I figured out how I wanted to place them on a dowel rod, I took the dowel rod and then I applied some of the Dollar Tree wood glue and some hot glue just so that it would stick faster. And then I took my staple gun / brad nailer, and I just used a couple of the brad nails to attach them to the dowel rod, just to make sure that they would not fall off, because I do plan on putting these outside on my porch or on my carport for the fall season. And once I had the pumpkins attached to the dowel rod like I wanted them, I went ahead and took a couple of the clips that I got from the Dollar Tree to to make sure that the pumpkins would adhere to each other. And I just went ahead and clipped them on just to make sure, and I just let them sit overnight before I mess with them again. So here I am just adding the glue and putting the clips on. So while that is sitting, I went ahead and I made the bow for the top of the pumpkins. And here what I'm doing is just showing you how I did it. So basically I started with the orange ribbon, and then I put the stem, and I placed the stem on top of the ribbon, and then I used some of the green ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and then I took some of the raffia, and I took some of the berry picks, and then I placed it on top of the raffia, and then also some of that ribbon from the Dollar Tree, or the burlap rope from the Dollar Tree, and I placed those all on, and then I took 2 of the zip ties and zip tied them together to make the ribbon or the bow to put on top of the top of the pumpkins. And I'm just showing you pictures of how I did it step by step, and then there should be a clip coming up of how to show you exactly what I did. But I just showed you the pictures of the order and how I did it, just in case if the clip was going to go too fast. And I also wanted to say that the burlap the burlap rope that I used, I took some floral wire and I stuck that in between, just so that I would be able to shape it and form it how I wanted to. And then also for the pumpkin stem, I took some of my faux leather paper that I had made, and I took some floral wire, and then I just kind of wrapped it around with some Mod Podge, and I let it dry overnight. And then and while it was still wet, I formed it how I wanted it. And then the next day it was dry, and it was in the shape of the stem like I wanted. And if it's not how you want it after it's dried, you can also move it around, because you put the floral wire in it to give it some flexibility. And then once I was done with that, I went ahead and I added a green sorry guys, I just went blank. Oh my goodness. I went ahead and added a green button, and then I went ahead and did the Shirley Temple curls onto the floral picks. And I used my pen, and then I just used a pill bottle for the burlap rope to make the curls a little bit bigger. And then I just trimmed the raffia how I wanted it, and then I went ahead and put dovetails onto the bows, and then that was it for the pumpkin. And then I attached the bow to the pumpkin with some E6000 and some hot glue. And now it's time to put it all together. So what I'm going to do now is take the bucket that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and take some of the floral foam, and I'm going to take some rocks that I just got out of my yard. And I had a package delivered, and it had some insulation in it, so I went ahead and took some of that and I wrapped it around the floral foam to kind of make sure to give it to make it more sturdier. And then I took some rocks and I placed them in a bag, and then I kind of rolled them up like you would roll up dough. And then I went ahead and placed that around the dowel rod after I placed the pumpkins into the floral foam. And then once I did that, I took some of the Dollar Tree Spanish moss and placed that on top, and that was it. And this DIY is complete, and let me tell you, it is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to put this out in front of my house. So if you like what I am doing, please like, share, and subscribe. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And please remember, my name is Tawanda, and I'm the Migraine Crafting Diva. And always remember to be nicer, be kinder. God will love you for it. And I really hope you have a blessed day. Thank you and goodbye. And I will see you next week. going to go ahead and get started with DIY number 1. And I can't wait for you guys to see all of these DIYs because I absolutely love all of them. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and get started with DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I'll be starting off using this wooden block that I picked up from the Goodwill for $1.99. And I'll be using some of the matte Mod Podge and a piece of the fabric that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to start in the center on the middle block. And I'm going to go ahead and put the Mod Podge on the middle block first and get that situated. And then I'll go ahead and start to do the right side and the left side. And I'm going to go ahead and let the Mod Podge dry for a little bit before I put the top layer on it, just so that I can prevent from having wrinkles. And on the back side of the wooden block, it says USA on it, and I thought that I would just leave that on there so that I could use it for Memorial Day or Labor Day decorations. But I may end up just taking that off and putting something on the back for Christmas, but I haven't decided yet. So here I am just putting on the second layer of Mod Podge. And then once it's completely dried, I'm going to take some of this ribbon that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, which I've used this ribbon on most of my fall DIYs. It's one of my favorite ribbons. Excuse me, I don't know what just happened there. I had to go take a drink of water. So here I am just putting the ribbon onto the one side. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of scrunch it up a little bit. And I also glued one of the acorns from the Dollar Tree. I think it's one of those ones that come out of the packet for the cupcake decorations. And then here I'm just showing you what I did. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 knobs that I picked up from one of the local stores here where I live. And that is it for this DIY. We'll be moving on to DIY number 2. So we are doing DIY number 3, our last and final DIY for today. And I am using this sip and repeat picture frame that I picked up from Aldi's a while ago. It was on clearance. Some scrapbooking paper from Hobby Lobby, a Scarecrow hat from Hobby Lobby, and these little Scarecrow men from Hobby Lobby. And also the haystack is also from Hobby Lobby. And then again, some of those cupcake picks from the Dollar Tree, the pumpkin ones. And I use also one of the acorns also. So I'm going to start off by removing the sip and repeat out of the frame, the shadow box frame. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the scrapbooking paper to size. And I'm going to use my glue stick to adhere it to the paper to adhere the paper to the frame. And then once I have that done, then I'm going to just look at the frame and just figure out how I want to place everything inside of the frame. And then once I have that figured out, I'm going to go ahead and turn it to the side so that you can see what I'm actually doing, so that you'll be able to see the full process of how I'm going to go ahead and get these put into the frame. And so here I'm just putting the men in, the Scarecrow men in, just to kind of figure out where I want to place them. And I'm just putting the hay barrels in also. And then I'll put the pumpkins in to figure out how I want to place them, if I want to place them on how I'm going to place them on the haystacks. So here, I was going to use my glue stick, but I forgot that I didn't have any glue in it, a glue stick in it. So here I am applying the pumpkins to the haystack. So I have the one that's like sitting on top, and then I'll add 2 more to the front of the haystack. And then once I have that done, then I'll go ahead and lay it down. I think I'm going to lay it down flat so that you can see what I'm doing, or I may move the camera down lower. So here I am, I'm taking some of these little game pieces from the backgammon game from the Dollar Tree, and I cut them in half, and then I'm going to glue them together so that I can glue it to the back of one of those pumpkins so that it'll give the illusion of the Scarecrow actually holding the pumpkin in one of his hands. And once I get him put in there, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. But I just want to make sure that it looks like it's close enough, or I have enough pieces on there where it looks like he's actually holding the pumpkin in his backhand. And then I'll go ahead and get started with gluing everything down. So that's basically what it's going to look like after I finish gluing everything in its place. So coming up here, I'm going to just let you watch what I'm doing, and you'll have a better view of everything. And that is it for this video. I would like to thank you for watching. And if you like what I am doing, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God will love you for it. And I hope you have a blessed day. And I will see you next week. Thank you and goodbye. And we are moving right along to DIY number 2. What I did was I took some of the crafter square stickers with the pumpkins on them from the Dollar Tree, and 2 of the small wooden pallets from Target, and I basically just added the stickers onto the pallet. And the pallets say pick your own pumpkin, and it says 25 cents, and these came out so cute. And this was basically like a 1-minute DIY, and look how cute they turned out. I love them. They're so cute. DIY number 3. And I'm going to take this mason jar that I picked up from the thrift store, some ribbon that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and look at how cute that is. Some more of the corkboard beads that I picked up from the repurposed store, and some of the remnants from the ribbon that I had used for a different DIY that I just cut into little pieces to add a little bit of color. So then I went ahead and just added the ribbon that I had cut up in pieces and the corkboard pieces into the jar. And then I added one of the Dollar Tree stems and a leaf from a plant that I just pulled off of my desk. And I added one of the window clings, fall window cling picks to the jar. And then I added the ribbon from the Hobby Lobby. And once I dovetailed the ribbon, and then I hot glued it in place. And look at how simple it is, but look at how cute it turned out. And I absolutely love the way it looks, and I just can't wait to decorate with this for this fall. And I just liked how you can see the different pops of color in the jar mixed in with the corkboard beads. Now
let's go. Yeah, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the
I'm going to do is I'm going to take some fabric that I purchased from Hobby Lobby out of the clearance section, and I have a zip tie. I have some foam that I took out of an old pillow, and I also have one of the stems that came out of the Dollar Tree pack, one of those Dollar Tree packets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the foam in the middle of the fabric, and then I will take the stem and put the stem in the middle of the fabric also, and then I will tighten it up with one of the zip ties. And you can see what I did at the beginning. I showed you a picture of it. I forgot to put the stem in it before I put the zip tie on, so I had to take it apart and redo it. So now what I'm doing is I am taking the excess fabric and I'm just twisting it like it was a bun that you put in the back of your head. And then once I have it all twisted up, I will just tuck it up under, and then I'm going to unravel some twine, get it to the length that I want. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the twine and I'm going to wrap it around the pumpkin stem 2 times. But I'm going to leave the twine attached to the roll. I'm not going to cut it. And then I'm just going to I'm going to take it and I'm going to section the pumpkin off into 2 sections, and then I'll section it off again when I pull the twine up under it. And in between the sections, I'm also tying a knot with the twine. Then I'll go ahead and section it off to 4 sections, and then I'll section it off to 6 sections, and then I'll section it off to 8 sections. And again, I'm tying knots in between each section. And then once I have all of my sections complete, I'm going to tie another knot, and then I will go ahead and fluff the pumpkin the way that I want it to be. So you can go ahead and just move the twine around the pumpkin until you get your desired effect that you want. And once I have that complete, I'm going to go ahead and glue 2 leaves to the pumpkin, and then I'm also going to take some of the Dollar Tree wired twine and tie that around the pumpkin. And that is it for this DIY. It's quick, easy, and simple. You don't have to sew anything, and you don't have to glue anything if you don't want. Let me know what you think. And I also would just like to note that this will be my last fall video of year 2022, and I will be starting Christmas videos. They will be going up, so can't wait for you to see what I will be doing with my Christmas DIYs. So stay tuned and we'll see what happens. And this pumpkin came from the Dollar Tree, and the fabric also came from the Dollar Tree. And then I have one of the stems from the Dollar Tree, and I also have a clothes hanger. So I'm really not sure which one I'm going to use at the moment, but here I am. I showed you some rocks that I purchased from the Dollar Tree also, and I put those in the base of the pumpkin when I put the hole in it to kind of give it some weight, because I wanted to put some pumpkins outside my door. So that's the reason why I put the rocks in there. So here I am just pulling the fabric up and stuffing it into the hole into the pumpkin. And then once I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and add my stem. So, I guess I'm not going to add my stem yet. So I have this leather leaf from the Dollar Tree that says Belief on it. And then I have some leaves. So here I am trying it out with the clothespin to see if I like it that way. And the more that I looked at it, I did like it, but I wasn't sure that was what I wanted to do. So then I changed my mind and I ended up pulling out some berry picks from the Dollar Tree, some more flowers, and some more leaves. So now I'm going to add the berry picks, and then I'm going to add the leaves, and then I'm going to add the flowers to the pumpkin. And that is going to be it for this DIY. And when I actually show you the final reveal, because I could see the orange popping out, or I could see the orange through the fabric, so I decided to take it all apart, and then I painted the pumpkin black. So on the reveal, you won't be able to see the orange sticking out, and I think it looks so much better. And so, like I said, all of these DIYs are going to be quick, easy, and simple, and they're pretty much all no-sew DIYs. So, yeah, I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. And we're going to move on to DIY number 3, our last and final DIY. Last and final DIY, and here I have some of the small cutting boards that I purchased from Aldi's. They were on clearance for $2.49. The blue ones were. The brown ones I've had for a couple of years now. I'm going to take a fall printout that I printed out from the computer, and I'm going to use the Waverly truffle chalk paint and the folk art white chalk paint, and I'm going to give each of the cutting boards 2 coats of each while letting them dry in between. I'm going to just use my heat gun to kind of speed the process up to dry everything. And then once I am done with that, I'm going to take my printout and I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to apply the printout to the cutting board with some Mod Podge, just a light coat. And for this DIY, I'm using the reverse transfer technique. And basically, you're going to print out whatever it is that you want to print out, and take some Mod Podge, and you're going to apply the Mod Podge to your printout, and then attach it to whatever item that you're going to use. But the printout must be reversed. So once that is done and you let it dry for 24 hours, you just take a wet damp tissue, and then you kind of just rub gently until the paper comes off, and then you'll see that the ink is transferred over to your item. So here I am just using the wet tissue and just kind of dampen the paper until I can see the actual print that's attached, that has adhered to my cutting board. And then I'll just take my finger and rub off the paper, and I'll just let you see how I do the second one. And then, so once I have completely removed all of the paper from the cutting boards, I will then take some of the antique wax and apply it to the edges of the cutting boards, just to kind of give it more of a rustic look. And then I will also apply some of the antique wax I have a wooden spindle and 2 wooden knobs. I'm going to go ahead and apply the antique wax to that so that it kind of matches. And then I will take the cutting boards and I will apply some of the polyurethane water base to the fall sign. And then once I've done that and the antique wax has completely dried, I'm going to take my spindle and my 2 knobs and I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree wood glue and some hot glue to attach the knobs to the ends of the spindle. And then once I have done that, I will take my ribbon that I purchased from Hobby Lobby that I've been using for a lot of my projects. I just really like the way love that color. And I really wish I would have purchased more of the ribbon instead of just the one. And I will go ahead and take the ribbon and put it through the holes of the cutting boards, and I will attach it to the spindle. And that is it for DIY number 5, and I absolutely love the way that it turned out. Let me know what you think. So we are moving right along, moving on down to DIY number 4, and I am using this tea kettle and these plants, these faux plants that I got from the Dollar Tree. And what I am going to do is I'm going to create a bouquet in the tea kettle. And like I said before in the first DIY, I am not that great at floral arrangements, but I actually really like the way that this one turned out. So when I first started off with this DIY, I put the floral foam inside of the tea kettle, and then I started to add the flower picks, and then the foam kept lifting up. So then eventually I added some glue, and then it still kept coming up. So I just took the floral foam out and just rearranged the flowers how I wanted them into the kettle. And then once I got them how I wanted them, I just took a piece of burlap string, and then I just tied them all together and then stuck them back into the kettle. And then once that was done, I went ahead and I took the lid and I took some ribbon and I tied the lid to the side of the can with the ribbon. And then I added some ribbon around the base of the tea kettle. And this is the ribbon I'm showing you here. It's the owl ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree while I was on vacation in Ohio, and then the orange ribbon that I got from that I picked up at the Dollar Tree here in Florida. And that is it for this DIY, and it actually is one of my favorites. I wasn't sure at first how it was going to turn out, but it actually turned out really nice, and yeah, I like it. So let me know what you think, and then we'll be moving right along to DIY number 5. For DIY number 1, I will be using one of the Dollar Tree cutting boards. I will also be using one of the doilies and the pecan pie recipe board or picture that they had. And what I'm doing now is I am cutting the frame of the pecan pie recipe off, and then I am going to sand down the edges a little bit just to kind of clean it up, and then I'll add some of my faux suede ribbon around the edges of the pecan pie recipe, just to kind of frame it up so that it looks a little bit more nicer. And I'm also going to add the doily onto the cutting board, because I kind of wanted to give it like an old vintage look, or something that you would see in your grandparents' house. And an interesting fact about myself is I actually am not a big fan of any kind of pie, but I do like to just eat the pie crust. Yes, you heard that correctly. I only like to eat the pie crust. I basically just scrape everything off and just eat the crust itself. So here I am just trying to get correct placement of how I want to place the doily and the recipe board onto my cutting board. And I'm just going to apply, I'm going to attach the doily using a glue stick to adhere it to the cutting board. And then I'll go ahead and cut the edges off, and use some of the edges to put around the areas that I did not have enough of the doily to put onto the cutting board. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and attach the recipe board, and then I'm going to add some of the antique Mod Podge to the top of the doily to kind of give it an antique look and feel. So here I am just applying the antique Mod Podge, and I let it dry for a couple of hours, and it started to look a little too yellow for me, so I decided to go ahead and peel off the doily. And of course I couldn't get it all off, so basically what I did was I had some faux wax paper that I had created for a different project, and what you see here is I'm taking some of the regular matte Mod Podge, and I am using it to adhere the faux leather paper that I had created for a different project. And I decided just to go ahead and use it on the cutting board instead of the doily. So here I am again, as you can see, I'm just applying a generous amount of Mod Podge and applying the faux leather paper. And if you are interested in seeing how I created the faux leather paper, just comment below and let me know, and I will post a video to give you step-by-step instructions on how I created the faux leather look. So here I am now after letting the paper dry for a couple of hours. I'm applying a generous amount of the matte Mod Podge to the top of the faux leather. And then once that dries, I will go ahead and attach the recipe sign back to the top of the cutting board. And here I am just cutting off the excess paper. And then once I do that, again, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and apply the recipe card back to the front of the cutting board. I'm going to use some of the tacky glue that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to I cut a piece of the faux leather suede, and I'm just going to use that to place on the top. And then I'm going to add a couple of wooden beads to the top of the cutting board. And that is it for DIY number 1. And can just say that I absolutely love it. It turned out better than I expected it to. Let me know what you think. And we are on to our last and final DIY for the day. And I will be taking 2 of the Dollar Tree pine cones and 1 of the Dollar Tree acorns, and I will be painting them. So what I'm going to do first is I will start off by taking the pine cones and the acorns and giving them a quick sand so that the paint will adhere. And then once I've done that, I will take some of the white chalk paint, some of the antique wax, and some of the hazelnut paint, and then I will go ahead and mix those 3 colors together, and then I will apply those to the acorn and both of the pine cones. So here you can see I am mixing up my paint concoction, and then I'm going to go ahead and start to paint. And I gave everything anywhere from 3 to 5 coats, depending on where I saw where I could still see the silver or the orange color on the pine cones and the acorn. And just a reminder, if you're going to do this project, just make sure that you dab into the crevices of the acorns and the pine cones to make sure that you have complete coverage and that the crevices are completely painted on the inside so that you won't be able to see the orange and the silver color unless you don't mind seeing those colors after you've completed your paint job. And then once I completely painted everything, I took them outside and I gave them all 2 coats of the Rust-Oleum 2 times extra coverage matte clear, just to seal and protect the paint job. So I use my heat gun in between coats just to make the drying process go a little bit faster. And now here I am taking some of the hazelnut paint, and I'm just mixing it up with a little bit of the mixture that I had already created earlier, and I'm applying it to the top of the acorn to make it a little bit darker so it'll look more like an acorn. And then I'm also going to apply the same color to both of the pine cones. And I will give the pine cones a couple, I want to say I think I gave them 3 coats of the hazelnut. And I gave the acorn, I believe I gave it 2 coats of the hazelnut. And then after letting them dry in between coats, I then took the antique wax and then I applied that to both of my pine cones to make them look like actual pine cones. And that is it for my video. Again, my name is Tawanda, and I'm the Migraine Crafting Diva. And I would like to thank you for watching this video. And if you like what I'm doing, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, please remember to be nicer, be kinder, and God will love you for it. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you next week. Thank you, and goodbye. Bye.